everybody. Welcome. Happy Monday. Here we go. It is Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. And I think I just did it again without thinking of it. I said Comcast 97. I'm living in the past. No, last week we got the word. We are now on Channel 6 on Comcast if you are in the Manchester area on the cable, Channel 6, not 97. So, which is very exciting, very, very cool. And, but I kind of went on autopilot there. So I am a creature of habit, as are most humans, but yes. And today is a Monday, August 14, 2023, and I am not alone. Jenny is here at the news desk.
Shalom Bobalar, I am present.
Yes, yes. So we have an exciting show for you. Hopefully, he might have another scheduling snafu, but hopefully we're going to be joined by journalist Bob Hennelly at 4:15 from New York City. Bob is not only an accomplished journalist in many areas, but he also is a radio host. He's a fellow broadcaster on WBAI. In New York City.
Jocks?
What's that?
Aren't you like jocks or something? Was that what you're supposed to call each other? Jocks? Radio jocks?
That's kind of an outdated term.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, because jock is short for disc jockey, and that's definitely an outdated term.
True, you don't spin anything.
Right, right. We don't have a turntable here. Although we do have a CD player.
We used to have a turntable.
There used to be one in the corner there, yeah.
We do have a CD player, and that's magical in this world.
Yes, we do have a CD player here. So Bob Hennelly hopefully will be joining us. If not, we've got plenty of other things we can talk about, certainly.
It's been pretty dull.
And coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to have a world radio premiere, the single Killin Time from the duo called Jam Tomorrow. We're going to have the world radio premiere of that track, and then they're going to be here with us live in studio to perform. So really looking forward to that. And one of the members of Jam Tomorrow, Michael Haupley-Pierce, I used to be in a band with him, which I've played on the show before, Chemical Distance. That goes back to like 2010, 2011, so more than 10 years ago. But, I mean, I've seen him since then. And Mike from Queen City Cabinetry knows him pretty well, apparently, as does Kenny from the Hop Knot. So
he's one of the regulars.
Yeah.
He's part of the WMNH family.
Who is?
Michael. He's been around forever.
Well, yeah, of course. He hangs out with us.
Who did you think I was talking to?
Friday
Did he
nights?
magically switch peoples?
Wait, you mean Mike from Queen City Cabinetry, not Michael Haupley-Pierce, right?
Now I'm confusing my Michaels.
Yeah, there's too many. It's probably the most common male name in the United States. Anyway, yeah, so that will be coming up today in the second hour. And if you're wondering about our opening track today, so hip-hop artist Magoo has passed away at the age of 50 from an apparent heart attack. So I decided to open with Up Jumps the Boogie, the radio edit, of course, which is Timbaland and Magoo with Missy Elliott and Aaliyah on that track. And that came out in 1998. And you know what is interesting, though, about playing a radio edit of a track that came out in the late 90s is that the way the songs are edited, at least with hip hop, you know, there's certain things, like there were a couple of things even in the radio edit where I was like, I probably would have done a little additional editing to that, but it's a different time now. And, you know, it's weird, you know, if you think back to that time, there's words you, and there's words that you could say now that you couldn't say now. It's interesting how everything's shifted. And it does over time. So, but that was the radio edit of that. I wanted to play the radio edit of Clock Strikes, by Timbaland and Magoo, just the two of them without any, because that was my favorite song by them. But we couldn't find a radio edit of that one, which actually really surprised me. How can there not be a radio edit of that song?
It had a lot more in it than I was expecting.
Yeah, you looked up the lyrics, and
Yeah.
because time permitting, I could have made a radio edit because I do that sometimes. But there were a lot of bad words in
There was a
that
lot
song.
of not just bad words, but things that we don't necessarily like to air.
Yeah, so I couldn't play that.
No.
But so we went with that. Up jumps Da Boogie, the radio edit. But I have a very specific memory of. Well, here, let's look at the TMZ article quickly, and then I'll talk about my memory of Magoo. TMZ reports rapper Magoo dead at 50. It says here, rapper Magoo, Timbaland's former collaborator, has died. Recording artist Digital Black confirmed Magoo's passing in an Instagram post, writing, quote, "Man, can't believe this RIH Magoo. Damn, big bro, wasn't ready for this at all," unquote. Digital accompanied his message with a cover of Magoo. His real name was Melvin Barcliff. And Timbaland's 1997 album, Welcome to Our World. And I think that's the album that has clock strikes on it. Magoo's cause of death was not disclosed, nor were details about the circumstances surrounding it. Many of his famous friends took to social media to share their condolences. So TMZ is saying we don't know the cause of death, but I saw something else that said heart attack, but that might just be conjecture. Because TMZ usually has it before anybody. So if TMZ doesn't have the official cause of death yet,
And
then
it's not official.
Yeah. Singer Genuine lamented, quote, "Time was short. I don't even know how to say anything at this point. I've lost 3 friends now within a month to life and its due date." Genuine went on, quote, "This dude always pushed me. I will miss you, Magoo." Maganu. That's what we called him. Yeah, actually, I think in that track, it refers to him as Maganu. Totally one of the best ever in my eyes, always pressing forward.
What does that mean?
I know, well, it's Magoo, but Maganu, it's another way of saying Magoo, apparently.
Oh,
okay. There's another way of saying Magoo, which I'm going to talk about in a moment.
Oh, boy.
So, let's see. Yeah, so he was, 50 years old. No, what I always think of, and what I immediately remember when I was alerted to his passing, EZG sent me an article, and I just seen it on the news too. When I was, at that time, late 90s, I was working at Strawberries on Loudon Road in Concord, and of course we sold CDs and DVDs and so forth. And this guy comes in one day, and he was looking for Timbaland and Magoo, but for some reason he thought it was Mackinac. He comes in, he's like, "Do you have Timbaland and Mackinac?" And we were like, me and Bobby B, this other guy who was working there, were like, "Do you mean Timbaland and Magoo?" And he insisted, "No, it's Mackinac." And he got angry with us and stormed out without his CD.
Stop.
And I swear to God. And he was looking for Timbaland and Magoo. Now I realize, though, all these years later, he must have heard it said that way in a song, and thought that was the guy's name. I didn't realize that part until now. I just thought it was some weird guy. But yeah, I remember he got angry. He's like, "It's Mackinac," and he stormed out of the store in a huff.
You see, you out there, you storming around, you stuck in his memory.
Yeah.
I bet he's listening right now and going, "Yeah, wait, that was me."
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, I hope he feels badly. He was very rude. We tried to help him. You mean Timbaland and Magoo? No, it's Timbaland and Mackinac. And
every time you say that, all I can think of is a macadamia nut, and I don't know why. It just sounds like it's a nut.
Well, that guy seemed like a nut.
Oh, that's true.
The guy who stormed out, not
Yes.
Mackinac.
Not the other dude.
He's dead now. So age 50. And by the way, speaking of age 50 and hip hop, I don't know if we haven't talked about this on the show yet, and I've got to remember because our friend Eric Pilcher, of course, is a big hip hop fan. We've had some great discussions on the air about hip hop. This is the 50-year anniversary of hip hop and when it started in New York. So, in fact, I heard a great interview with Chuck D from Public Enemy the other day about it and the origins of hip hop in New York City. And hip hop turns 50 this month. So maybe I'll play some Public Enemy, not today because we have a musical guest coming up, but I did want to play that. So rest in peace, Magoo or Maganu or however one wants to refer to you as. Any word from our guest?
No, but I am getting word from the chat room that people are having a hard time finding us.
Yeah.
Oh, Melanie says Bruce strikes again.
Yeah, because I see some people in the chat room, but it looks like it's the viewer count is frozen, so we must be having an issue with Facebook. So I'm going to I'm actually going to end that Facebook stream.
Oh, I just shared it all out.
Well, I'm going to start a new one because
now you're going to start a new one.
Because there clearly was something wrong with that one, and it's not letting me start a new one. Yeah, we're having a Facebook issue here. Oh, here we go. Okay, now it's back on. But it hesitated though. I think Facebook is being super glitchy, but that happens. But I always say too, what do you want for free? It's Facebook.
So we're gonna restart the feed.
We have restarted the Facebook feed. So
there's a new feed.
Let me give the studio line 603-250-6007 if you'd like to join us today. Again, our guest might be late. Our first guest. Bob Hennelly. We'll see.
True that I hate when that happens after I've shared it all out.
Yeah. 603-250-6007 is a studio line. You can also text us at 617-917-4476. I'm on social media at Matt Connarton. You can email me, matt@mattconnerton.com. And of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is to give us a call at 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. And I do see JFed and Melanie are both in the new Facebook feed that we have started. So
as opposed to the old Facebook feed.
Yes. So onward and upward we go. And if you are just joining us, Bob Hennelly is our guest in the first hour, but he might have a snafu. So we'll see if he's able to join us. But we do have Jam tomorrow. Will be our guest in the second hour on the program. Something that's been brewing that I think is pretty interesting that we haven't had a chance to get to on the show is this debate that might be coming between a couple of governors. One of them is allegedly running for president, and the other one is not. But Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida versus Governor Gavin Newsom of California. And it looks like there might be a snafu there. Politico reporting Newsom versus DeSantis debate stalling over Fox News audience. It says the California Democrat and Florida Republican agreed to the debate, but hit a stalemate over the network hosting a live studio audience. So I hope this doesn't fall apart. There's a quick update here, and then I just have a couple of observations. It says here, Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis have reached an impasse in their Fox News debate planned for November. A person with knowledge of the stalemate said yesterday, DeSantis, the Republican governor of Florida, is pushing for the face-off to occur in front of a live audience, which the Democratic California governor prohibited in his proposal to Fox News' Sean Hannity. Quote, "This is about having a debate, not a TV spectacle," unquote, the person familiar with the negotiations told Politico, narrowing the scope of the disagreement between the two camps. Newsom and aides previously derided several aspects of the DeSantis counterproposal, which included a studio audience divided evenly between them, dismissing the idea as a cheering section. Even in an age of constant televised town halls, the primetime event between the ambitious governor, who may one day make a White House bid, and the Republican candidate for president would be unprecedented in modern politics. The question of whether to involve an audience is a significant one that can tint how TV viewers digest the Fox broadcast. CNN took considerable heat for its recent town hall with former President Donald Trump. All right, I don't want to get into all that, but that's where things stand. There's a little bit of a stalemate. I'm going to kind of skip down here. It says Newsom said Friday in Sacramento that he had no update on the planned event when asked by reporters. A DeSantis campaign spokesman had no comment on Sunday. The debate over the debate has mostly played out behind the scenes between each side and Fox. Newsom, who recently sat for an 88-minute taped interview with Hannity in Sacramento that the two men agreed to over text messages, first proposed the debate with DeSantis last September. It was Newsom who suggested the conservative commentator serve as moderator, both to make it a more attractive offer to DeSantis and remove excuses he might offer about media bias. For months, the two men have gone round after round shadowboxing before the public, but never confronting each other in person. Newsom fact-checked DeSantis' campaign launch and challenged him over revisions to school textbooks. After a plane of migrants with Florida documentation touched down in Sacramento, Newsom called DeSantis a, quote, small, pathetic man, unquote, and floated the possibility of charging him with kidnapping. He later qualified a suite to include charging anyone responsible for the transport, including state contractors, to potentially put a chill on companies considering getting involved in the moves. DeSantis has mocked Newsom's handling of homelessness and quality of life crimes and ridiculed California for overdoing its stricter approach to the pandemic. It goes on and on with the back and forth between the two. Again, skipping down, Politico reported in June that after months of skepticism and some mistrust between the younger governor and the president's political orbit, they found a loyal soldier in Newsom who subsequently has raised millions of dollars for their 2024 effort. Skipping down again. Yeah, okay. Well, that gets us a little bit of an update. So it may not happen, and I've been skeptical from the beginning. But it doesn't sound like you just messaged me. Doesn't sound like Bob's going to make it?
No.
Okay, that's okay. Another time. So what is interesting about this to me is apparently, so the White House has signed off on this, and that they are supportive of the idea of Newsom and DeSantis debating. And I think that I can see an argument from the standpoint of from the campaign, from Biden's campaign, both for and against this. So for Ron DeSantis, this is a can't lose proposition in my view, because it gets him more exposure. It's another opportunity to appeal to prospective Republican voters and so forth. For Newsom, this is also a fantastic opportunity, if it happens, to really get him exposure to a national audience of Democrats. Because when I think of these two guys on a debate stage, I think of 2028. I'm not thinking about 2024. I'm thinking about 2028. What's interesting to me is, so apparently the Biden campaign has given this their blessing. But I don't know. See, this could help Biden. It could hurt Biden. It could be a wash. Now, the way it can help him, obviously, is Newsom. If you saw, did you see any of his sit down with Sean Hannity?
I did not.
So Gavin Newsom, and for those who aren't familiar with him, he's been around. I think he was, before he was governor, he was the mayor of, was it San Francisco? He's very, he came across really well. Even Patrick Bet-David on his podcast, who does not like Gavin Newsom at all, and says that he actually left California specifically because of Gavin Newsom's policies. Even PBD said that when he saw the sit down with Sean Hannity and he watched the whole 90 minutes, he said Newsom brought it. I mean, those were his words. He said Newsom brought it. He showed up. He was prepared. He's smart. He's articulate. He knows how to spin the issues and so forth. So he's a very, very talented politician, and he really showed that. And he wasn't, and again, Patrick Bet-David, not a fan of Gavin Newsom, but looking at it objectively, he said, Newsom really held his own with Hannity. And, there was a lot of buzz around that. I haven't watched the whole thing. I've watched some of it. There's a lot of buzz around it, though. Newsom does come off very, very well. Very smart, quick, polished, all the things, if you were building a perfect politician, he's all the things you would put into that in terms of ingredients. So where Newsom might be helpful to Biden in that situation where he's debating DeSantis, even though obviously DeSantis isn't going to be the nominee, but we'll come back to that. So Newsom could be helpful to Biden in terms of his ability to articulate, if he wants to talk about Democratic policies, wants to talk about accomplishments, act as a surrogate, which is obviously what he would be doing, acting as a surrogate for Biden and articulating accomplishments legislatively, so forth, whatever they discuss in the debate. Newsom will be very effective doing that. The problem for Biden, though, and where this could backfire is Newsom could be very effective at doing that. And the reason I say that could backfire on Biden is, will Democrats see Gavin Newsom in this debate if it happens? And as they're observing how he's sharp, he's articulate, knows the issues. And did I mention he's a hell of a lot younger than Joe Biden? Will Democrats see that and observe this and say, yeah, maybe we got to get the old man out of there because we're missing an opportunity here. So I can see that potentially backfiring. It could also be a wash, and there's also an excellent chance none of this even happens. But if nothing else, it's an opportunity for both of them to kind of show up for 2028. Because Ron DeSantis, first of all, you've got a field of Republican candidates who are not going to be the nominee. Trump is going to be the nominee. We all know it. If you think any of these people are going to somehow take that nomination from Trump, you're delusional. And you might be someone who very much wants for that to happen, but it's not going to happen. By the way, I agree with you. John Hopwood says in the chat room, Newsom is running for president. I agree with you, John. Newsom is running for president. He's running for president in 2028. He's not gonna pull a knife out and, stick Biden. Okay. In my opinion, I'd be shocked. But DeSantis knows he's not going to be the nominee. DeSantis, I could say a lot of really horrible things about him, and I probably have at various points. I'm sure that I have, but he's not stupid. He knows he's not going to be the nominee in 2024. This is a test run. Ron DeSantis, look, I mean, the other Republicans in the field, they're running for a variety of, there's many reasons to run for president other than wanting to be president. Mike Pence is trying to sell his book. He knows he's not going to be the nominee. He's trying to sell his book. Senator Tim Scott, he knows he's not going to be the nominee. He wants to be the vice presidential nominee. And I think he also has a book to sell. Nikki Haley, she's running for president. Yes, but in 2028, same as Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis is running for president. He's not running for president in 2024. He's running for president in 2028. I firmly believe that. He knows he's not going to be the nominee. He knows that. Look at Trump. Everything that happens to him that is legally detrimental is fantastic. It's good business. Trump, some people say Trump is not very smart. I don't think he's a deep thinker. I don't think he's an intellectual, but he is smart in some ways. He understands marketing and branding. He understands his brand, and he understands his audience. He understands his customers. He understands who he's selling to, and never in my life have I seen an example of somebody who, he's coming up on indictment number 4, and it only makes him stronger. He says, they're not indicting me. They're indicting all of us. Send me money. And they send him money. It's actually, he's doing gangbusters business. So DeSantis knows he's not going to be the nominee. So he's running, this is a test run for 2028. And that's what the debate with Newsom will be if it happens. And same with Gavin Newsom. Newsom's not gonna he's not gonna do something to screw over Biden, unless maybe he wants to be sort of an understudy just in case something happens. Part of the one of the liabilities. I mean, Biden has 2 enormous liabilities. One of them is his son, clearly, which we've talked about a lot on the show recently. But the other one is his age. And, again, not to be ageist. I hate to be ageist, but I am practical and pragmatic about these matters. Joe Biden is only 1 year younger than Mitch McConnell. If Joe Biden has a Mitch McConnell moment, I mean, can you imagine?
Oh my gosh.
If and what if that were to happen during a debate or a speech
or a meeting with a foreign dignitary?
Oh yeah, it would be over. It would be over. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
John C. Hopwood. The C is for chatterbox, specifically irresponsible chatterbox.
Oh, well, call me irresponsible. What's up,
Call
John?
me an irresponsible chatterbox. Newsom is for Newsom. I remember him from California.
Oh, that's right. So
he's positioning himself as an alternative to Biden. Should Biden obviously fail within the next year? Because let's remember, Biden, whatever we can say about him, you can say some positive stuff and some negative stuff, just like any president in his first term at this time, is, he's 2 years old, and he might not be around in a year. I don't mean necessarily gone, R.I.P.
John, are you hanging out with some frogs? I hear frogs in the background.
No, that's a motorcycle that just drove by.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I'm actually sitting outside enjoying the non-rainy weather.
Oh, very good. Very good. All right, just making sure.
All by your lonesome?
Unless are you attacking my French-Canadian heritage?
Not at all. I wouldn't dare.
I don't know. I thought it was more like a boiling water kind of a soundish.
Boiling water?
But,
you having a baby?
but just say Newsom's for Newsom. Is he indeed going to debate DeSantis?
Well, they've hit a snag. They're supposed to debate on Fox, but they've hit a bit of a snag. So we shall see.
What is the snag? Does anybody know?
Yes.
That DeSantis is thinking his political career is sinking like a stone.
No. I think DeSantis is all for it, but there's an issue in terms of doing this in front of a live studio audience on Fox, and
why?
I think Newsom doesn't want to walk into a situation where it's he's got a biased crowd against him.
You mean like,
50-50.
that is obviously true, but I think the bigger thing is he's probably getting pressure in the Democratic Party because they just announced that Kamala Harris is going to be a major part of the campaign. And she cannot be happy that Newsom's running around like, Joe Biden's self-anointed successor.
Right. Well, that's there is that component to it. Yes, Kamala Harris, who obviously, as the vice president, is she's the vice president.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Have we seen her?
Jenny, you hit that one right on the nail, didn't you?
Have you seen this individual as of last year or two?
No, actually, just recently she was in Florida speaking out about their the little change in the curriculum there that you have to
yes.
You have to also teach about the positives of slavery in Florida.
Yes, there are positives to slavery. Did you know this?
It would never have even occurred to me, to be honest with you.
I don't remember any of my history teachers.
But we don't want our beautiful white children to feel badly about anything. So we have to make sure that they understand the positives of slavery. But put on a happy face.
There were positives in slavery. People of African origin were introduced to the piano, and that become jazz. And white people got the banjo, which came out of a gourd-like instrument from West Africa. And unfortunately, we got hillbilly country music, and we got the worst of the deal. So, try to keep an open mind about these things.
I see.
It's boiling water.
Every time you hear a country song and it's driving you nuts, that is a legacy of slavery.
Oh, try that in a small town.
I'm gonna have a conversation with you.
But yeah.
Later.
Okay, I'll leave you on that wonderful insight.
All right,
Bye.
John, we appreciate it. Bye-bye. All right, that was our friend John Hopwood, and The thoughts of John do not reflect the show or the station or anything like that. But
They are
interesting.
purely his own cantankerous nature.
Interesting.
Oh, no, he wasn't cantankerous, John, this time.
Interesting insight there.
Yeah.
No, he was Chatterbox.
Chatterbots.
Yes, yes. The studio line is open 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007 if you would like to join us. We'll get caught up with the Facebook live chat here. Let's see. Melanie and Jay Fed are both in there, of course, from the great state of Vermont. Jenny, I see that you're in there.
I'm everywhere.
Scott Robinson says in the chat, in honor of the 50th anniversary of hip-hop, I was once considered the lyrical Jesse James. My goodness.
Oh.
I feel like that's from a song. Miriam Banish joins us in the chat and says, yay, sorry, I'm rejoicing because I'm in the room. Well, don't be sorry. We're glad that you're in the room.
Very much.
Eric Street joins us and says, nice seeing you the other day. Yes, I ran into Eric at the Hannaford in Bedford. Eric, it was nice to see him. I'd only met him in person once before. And Eric mentioned to me that he had once run into Peter White at the Hannaford in Bedford as well.
It's a great meetup spot.
Yes, yes. Carol Zaworowitz joins us in the Facebook live chat. Hello, Carol. Melanie says, when did Republicans become such a bunch of babies they are unable to have an actual debate? Well, actually, there's a debate coming up in Milwaukee, I think in less than 10 days. But I don't believe the former president is going to be there, Mr. Trump. But he has no reason to.
So if a whole bunch of them get behind DeSantis, it would be safe to assume that things like...
Whole bunch of who?
Republicans.
Just if voters or the other candidates? You mean if...
No, the voters. If
Okay.
the voters get behind them, I would assume that would mean that the Florida curriculum, such as the banning of the Diary of Anne Frank for pornography, will be spread across this great nation.
Yes, I believe, well, isn't that one of the campaign slogans?
I believe so.
Make America Florida or something?
Yes. So we have to change our curriculum.
Boy, that's appealing, huh? Make America Florida?
I guess we're going to teach the good sides to the Holocaust next,
Well,
since the Diary of Anne Frank is now pornographic material. That is just so mind-boggling to me. It's just like...
I think Greg Gutfeld would advocate for that. But yeah, so they are having the first Republican debate will be coming. I always look forward to that every 4 years.
You think DeSantis and Kennedy have more in common than I'm realizing?
RFK?
Yeah.
RFK said something I did appreciate, believe it or not, and I believe it was in Iowa. He apparently opposes the war on drugs and wants to...
And a blind dog gets a bone once in a while, Maddie.
Wants to decriminalize things and put money toward treatment of drug addiction rather than treating drug addicts like criminals.
Of course, if you're Jewish, you probably won't need that under his line because everything will be created to not hurt your genetic makeup.
Yeah.
We are talking about the same man that is on the campaign trail who's out there saying that the COVID virus was manufactured to not attack Jewish people and
Chinese people.
Chinese people.
Right.
Yes. Everybody else.
Yeah, that does sound insane. Yeah.
This is what we're up against. These are the people running for president of the United States. You got anti-Semitic. I don't know where to put them in the what do you say about these people? And this is being accepted as mainstream. This is not a conspiracy anymore. This isn't people being weird or whatever. These people are mainstream. Like, this is the real thing. You know, slavery is good for black people and Jews didn't get hurt by COVID. And this is the reality that we're looking at for presidential candidates. I am embarrassed to be an American when I say that out loud.
Well, I'm a little more optimistic. I think that because I think that the general perception. So talking about RFK for a moment, I think the general perception is that he's a lunatic. But obviously, I think he's being used by conservatives as kind of a useful idiot because he says he buys into a lot of sort of right wing conspiracy theorism, like, you know, about like he's an anti-vaxxer and things like that. So that
he's a laser dude.
So I think there are some people, particularly, you know, like Fox News, that they love him, the personalities on there. but I think he's useful to them. But I think I'm more optimistic in that I think the vast majority of Americans look at a guy like RFK and the things that he says and think he's just crazy.
Have you learned nothing? I'm sitting here looking at you in shock. Have you learned nothing from the last few years? Oh, people know that he's, would you call him a nut?
Yeah, yes.
People aren't going to follow a nut. Really?
No,
really, Maddie?
No, some people are. Some people are following him. But I'm just saying. I just think that the majority of people see him as a nut.
Sure.
And I don't see him.
That makes you sleep better at night. I'll let you hold on to that one.
I don't see him transcending that. I mean, he's certainly not going to be the nominee. I mean, he's trying to be the nominee of the Democratic Party.
He wants to hang out with Hugo Chavez.
Well,
this is our reality. This is mainstream news now, right? And you don't think people are going to follow the nut? Oh, come on.
Not him. He's too nutty. There's a limit.
I don't think there's a limit
to the nuttiness.
There's no limit.
I hope there is. If there's not, we're really in trouble.
Finding?
I'm a little more optimistic.
I stopped being optimistic a little while ago. I really did. The more evidence that comes out about what Trump has done and the more people that are still not willing to jump off that train, little piece of me goes even more every time.
Melanie says in the chat room, DeSantis is so anti-LGBTQ+, I don't think he would allow anyone to get behind him.
Jesus. You got him. Very well done there. You got Matt. Let me see your cheeks. I bet they're pink.
No. Let's see.
I want to know what's going to happen. No. I want all of these trials to be televised. And I want to see what the excuses are to explain away some of this hardcore evidence, like video evidence. Like, I want to know how that's going to get explained away. You know, it's perfectly normal for candidates to send teams in to mess around with voting equipment during an election. That's normal, don't you know?
Right.
I mean, it's video. It's video. Now, we've got text messages, videos. Nothing matters. He could literally sit there and shoot somebody, like he said, and it's not going to matter. They're not going to walk away from him.
Right.
They're going to stick by his side. And these are the same people that are backing everything that DeSantis is doing in Florida. It's spreading. It's getting worse. That's why I don't have any optimism anymore. This insanity has just continued to grow across our nation. It's infected our schools in the most disgusting of ways.
Well, Mike Doyle is on the line. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Matt and Jen. How goes the battle?
Good. How are you?
Very good, thanks. Very good. Hey, I was just turned you on, and I just heard Jen say something about that Florida curriculum, and she's made the narrative that every left-wing newspaper has made that about the slavery and the instruction, and I don't know. It's just like the "Don't Say Gay" bill, where there's not one word that says the word "gay" in the bill, but that's the narrative that people picked up. And it's just a little bit misleading.
Excuse me. I am not misleading anyone, and I am not repeating a narrative. I am telling the exact fact. Answer this to me. You're going to argue against it. They're telling kids that something good came out of slavery. That people have people that yes they are. Yes they are. And they've taken the Diary of Anne Frank out of Florida schools for pornography.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your answer to that one?
Let me read the actual quote so we can have facts, not innuendo. The instructions slaves got. It says instructions includes how slaves develop skills, which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit.
Which is exactly what I just said. Exactly
right.
what I just said.
What they're trying to say, and this was written by a black scholar of black literature, saying that such people like cooks learned how to cook out of being. They were a slave as a cook, but they learned how to cook. Some people who
Was that what you were taught in
learned
school?
skills such as sewing.
Do you remember teaching? Do you remember learning that in school? Do you remember learning that in school? Were you taught in school that slaves learned to have great skills to use? Were you taught that when you were in school? Because I sure as heck was not. Neither was my son.
No, none of us were. So what does that have to do with what we're saying?
Because that's exactly what you just said. What you just read is that they are teaching kids that they earned skills as slaves to better their lives. That's literally what you just said, and that's exactly what I said. So I stand.
Right. First of all, you're using the word slaves, meaning all of them. And in this line, it says in some instances.
I don't
not all slaves.
Care how pretty you make the front of the sentence. It's still saying that
I'm reading the sentence to you.
I think
if you want to change it, and then continue with your narrative, you can do that all you want.
But you literally just read to me that slaves learned valuable skills. Some slaves in instances.
I never said that, so you can keep saying that all you want. But
all right,
dude,
let me read it to you. Let me read it to you one more time, and then you guys can chew on it a little bit or do whatever you want.
But honey.
Instruction includes how slaves develop. This is quote. Instruction includes how slaves develop skills which, in some instances, could be applied to their personal benefit.
You don't think that's a disgusting sentence? You find that acceptable? You truly find that acceptable?
I find it a fact that
it's not a fact.
People who were slaves, but were learning how to cook, learning how to sew, learning how to raise crops, learning how to take care of horses, learning how to do welding for carriages. In some instances, they could apply that as a personal benefit. Slavery's wrong. Don't conflate the two. Slavery's definitely wrong. Nobody likes it. It shouldn't have happened. It's part of our history. But all they're saying in this is that in some instances, that's what it says verbatim, some of these skills they learn could be used for their personal benefit.
So
that's all it says.
So here's the issue, Mike, as I see it.
Go ahead.
I understand what you're saying, but here's the problem in a broader sense is that there has been a movement in this country, and social media helps to propagate this stuff. There has been a movement in this country in some circles to try to kind of whitewash and downplay slavery. I'll give you an example. I've seen people on certain, and I know you don't, you're not a big internet guy, you're not a social media guy, you probably haven't listened to these different podcasts that are out there and whatnot, but I'll just give you an example. There's these sort of white nationalist internet media personalities who will, whenever the subject of slavery comes up, they'll say, well, what about Irish people? Irish people were enslaved. They were treated poorly. And they do this thing where they'll give other examples of slavery, of people being enslaved, not just people from Africa. And they'll use that as a narrative to try to downplay slavery and make it seem like, it wasn't that bad. So the concern is, from my perspective, this is how I see it, and this is why I think people are so sensitive to this, is this looks like when educators in Florida are now being told they have to include something about the benefits of slavery, or however you want to frame that verbiage, it seems like, and maybe that's not the intention, maybe it is, but it comes across as, oh, okay, this is part of the larger effort that some people are making to whitewash slavery and to downplay it. And that's why, at least I think that's why people are so sensitive to this. And that's the problem. And so I disagree with it. I don't think it should be in there. And
I don't care how you read the sentence. It's disgusting.
Well, again,
it's a disgusting statement.
Well, what I'm bothered by is how it contributes to the larger narrative that some people out there are pushing to try to downplay slavery. That is problematic to me. I mean, even my dad, who I don't think he'll mind me saying this on the show, and my dad's very conservative, but he even texted me and he said, he disagrees with what they're doing in Florida with this, and he thinks it's wrong. Because again, there's a larger issue here.
Let me respond to your two things. Mm-hmm. One is the Irish thing. is a whataboutism, which you hate, and I agree is wrong.
Yeah.
You know, that's just wrong. That's for somebody to make that argument is just stupid.
Right.
And the other thing is, well, I forgot my second point. I had something you were going to say, and I was making a point, but I'm just trying to make. I don't know. I'm just trying to make the point that the sentence doesn't say all slavery was beneficial to slaves.
Mike, it doesn't matter if it says all or one. If it says any, it's disgusting and wrong. And that's the part that you're not getting. It's disgusting.
Based on what I said, you don't think that the people who came over on boats and then were put into kitchens, put into stables,
my God, I can't believe
all under slavery, all wrong.
Oh my God. You really need to hear yourself.
Skills
you need to
of
hear
cooking,
yourself.
of stables, of crops,
You just
of
made
sewing.
the most racist comment I think I've ever heard you make.
No.
Are you kidding me?
No, I am
not. Are you kidding me?
Not at all.
This has nothing. This has nothing to do with
not
racism.
Not even a little. There's nothing that you can do to sugarcoat slavery. Oh, you learned how to cook. It was good.
I don't think that's Mike's intention, but I think he's.
That's not what I'm doing at all.
But
that's ridiculous.
But he's talking about the verbiage. I understand what you're saying, Mike, but I also think again we have to keep in mind what the larger narrative is here. And by the way, it's easy for white guys like you and me from New Hampshire to just say, oh well, they're just saying some slaves this and that. But I mean, how do you think Black Americans feel when they hear this stuff?
No, probably. It probably, in hindsight, you look at it and you probably say it was probably stupid to put in there.
Right. Well,
that's what we're saying.
Well, so do we agree then? So it sounds like we have some agreement there.
That it probably shouldn't have been in there because it's causing this much fluff.
Fluff?
You know what I mean? It's just causing. But the problem I have is we're changing the narrative to say all slaves.
I'm not changing the narrative.
How can they say it's a benefit to? Do you not agree that some slaves that had no skills at all and
God,
ended up?
You are an evil person.
No.
Oh my God.
No.
People were stolen from their communities. People were shackled and stolen from their homes where they cooked and they hunted and they took care of their families and they were smart and they were intelligent human beings that were forced onto a ship, brought over here, shoved into people's homes and made to work till death. But if they got a skill out of it, that's okay. Oh, my God, no. These people were smart, intelligent people who had lives and were stolen. They weren't. You make it sound like they were complete, not smart individuals who only got their teachings from the. This is disgusting.
I don't think that's Mike's intention. But
it's disgusting.
But
not at all.
But I doubt I'm the only one.
It's not my intention, nor did I do that. So I don't know what she's talking about. She can rant all she wants. I don't care. But.
Well,
that's not my intention.
I'm very passionate against my disgust and disdain for anything that tries to make slavery fluffy.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that either. I'm trying to make sense of the sentence itself.
No,
what the black scholar who wrote it was trying to make people understand that there may have been an iota of personal something that these slaves got out of learning how to cook, learning how to be stablemates, learning how to run crops, that's all the point he was trying to make. And it just got blown up into, that Florida hates blacks and slavery is okay.
But Mike, when you say it just got blown up into, then you're really kind of being dismissive in terms of the reaction to it. And again, I would just say,
I'm not.
Well, we're white guys from New Hampshire, so we can sit around and say, "Oh, look at this! Just got blown up into a whole big fluff." When in reality, I mean, if you're a Black American and you're hearing about this, that's got to be like, "Whoa!" Now they're making slavery sound like a jobs program, and who can blame anyone for feeling that way? But I think we did agree though that it shouldn't have been in there, right? They shouldn't have put that in there.
Yeah,
we have some
it
agreement.
Probably shouldn't have been in there.
Okay, good.
The guy wrote it. I don't know. Why put it in there if it's going to cause this much? You know what I mean? But that was his thought, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was just trying to calm down the temperament of I don't know. It's just they've taken it to a new angle, I guess.
It's not a new angle.
That's the part I don't understand.
It's not a new angle. They're saying that slavery had good parts. That's what I said. That's what you just read. It
In the
doesn't matter.
statement, it says in some instances.
I don't care if you say in some, in one, or in 20,000. In anything is unacceptable and disgusting.
There's I just feel I feel there's a larger purpose for legislators in Florida to be okay with that. And by the way, DeSantis has tried to run away from this. He won't even take ownership of it, even though, as Chris Christie pointed out, he's the one who lit the fire with the anti-woke or whatever that bill is that he signed. But I really have a feeling, Mike, that there's a larger purpose for these legislators in Florida to be so on board with this, and it's and it worries me, and hate is something that is malignant.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
but do you see no truth in that? Some slaves, they're slaves. Don't change that. They're slaves, and it's wrong.
Sure.
But some slaves learned skills.
I'm not going to sign off. I'm not going to sign off on that statement.
Absolutely not.
You know, I mean, I think, you know, from what I know of history, I know that some slaves were given specific jobs because of skills that they already had when they were captured and forced into slavery. But I'm not going to buy into any narrative that makes it sound like a jobs program. And, you know, because there's a larger plan with that, Mike, and I want nothing to do with that larger plan.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't either. That's why when she's calling me racist, it's just ridiculous.
Well, Mike, you're defending something.
That's not what we're saying. That's not what I'm saying.
You are defending something born from racism. That sentence
I am not.
Keep reading.
I am not.
That sentence that you keep reading is 100% racist. 100%.
Well, like I said, I'm more worried about the larger narrative that it propagates.
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying, Matt.
Good.
I do.
Good.
I do.
All right.
But to call up and have a discussion about the actual verbiage, and then for her to call me a racist is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Nice try, Bucko.
I'll let you.
Try.
I'm sure everybody's going to hate
keep reading
now,
that
so I'll let
racist
everybody go
statement
on
to
and
people.
go from there.
You just keep reading that racist statement to people. Keep doing it.
I'm not.
It's
I'm
a
not.
racist statement.
You were talking about it, and so I called about the discussion.
And the language that you keep reading and think is just beautiful and fine and fluffy is disgusting and racist. And if you're going to keep defending a racist comment,
I never said it was beautiful and fine.
Keep defending a
I never
racist
said
comment
any of that.
in your. What does that make you, buddy? What does it make you? Look in the mirror. You're defending a racist comment. You keep reading it over and over again, like it's somehow going to be less racist. It's racism and it's offensive, and it doesn't belong in a school system. It doesn't belong anywhere in the United States.
I think we agree that it doesn't belong in the school system. I think we did land on that.
But to keep reading the sentence and claiming it's not a racist statement, it is. It's very racist.
I never said it was not a racist statement.
I can't imagine what it's like for a black mother to have to send their child to school thinking that's what the kid's going to get taught.
No, I think we agree on that it's problematic.
That's their school.
It's definitely problematic. It shouldn't have been in there.
Good. Okay. I'm glad you say that.
I don't think the black scholar who wrote it intentions were to say that. You know what I mean? I don't think that was his intention. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. No, fair enough.
All right, I'll let you go. I can only be called racist so many times when I'm not, so I'll let you go.
Keep saying that racist
all right, Mike.
sentence.
Thanks for the call. Bye-bye.
Just keep saying the racist sentence and see if it sounds less racist if you say it 20 more times.
All right, we got to get to a break. I
please.
see musicians in the hallway.
I can't wait.
So what we're going to do is they've got a brand new song. And we're going to play the studio track, and then they're going to come in and perform live on the air. So we've got Jam tomorrow, and one of these guys I used to be in a band with, as I mentioned earlier. So let's give this a listen. This is called Killin Time, brand new from Jam. Whoops, something else is playing. Hang on, let me fix that.
Little kerfuffle.
I don't know where that audio is coming from.
Where is that coming from?
That's not good.
You have something playing from somewhere.
All right, here we go. I think I got it. It's Monday. Here we go.
There's a song I want to tell from way back, deep like a well. There is a song I need to say. It seems it somehow got away. I'm just killing time until time kills me. A coin for the ferryman, a ring for the sea. Give light to darkness, give life unto clay. Until time kills me, I'm killing time today. There is a story from the distant past, before the first became the last. There is a story I need to share. Came from no place and it's going nowhere. I'm just killing time until time kills me. A coin for the ferryman, a ring for the sea. Give light to darkness, give life unto clay. Until time kills me, I'm killing time today. There is a message that must be conveyed from whatever place you have made. There was a message I needed to pass on, but it's gone, it's gone, it's gone, 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 gone. I'm just killing time until time kills me. A coin for the ferryman, a ring for the sea. Give light to darkness, give life unto clay. Until time kills me, I'm killing time today. I'm just killing time until time kills me. A coin for the ferryman, a ring for the sea. Give light to darkness, give life unto clay. Till time kills me, I'm killing time today. Time today. I'm killing time today.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, free dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry. located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at QueenCityCabinetryNH.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Clemento's Pizzeria, family friendly, awesome for a date night. Clemento's Pizzeria.
For delivery, call 603-782-8450.
Clemento's Pizzeria, the best pizza in town.
1875 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Best cocktails around.
Come in as friends and leave as family.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
Welcome back, everybody. We are into hour number 2, numero dos of Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast Channel 6 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. Today is Monday, August 14, 2023. Jenny is here at the news desk.
Present and accounted for.
And we've got a great band here with you. So I'm going to introduce Michael Haupley Pierce. How are you, sir?
You said my name right. You've already warmed my heart, my friend.
Well, you and I were in a band together, so I probably should get your name right.
I appreciate that. I'm really happy to be here. This is long overdue. It's been too long since we've had fun together.
Yeah, it's great to see you, man. Great to see you, and I love the song there.
Thank you.
That Killin Time and your new project, Jam Tomorrow. And what I would like you to do, sir, if you wouldn't mind, is I'll let you introduce these other two gentlemen who I'm meeting for the first time today.
I'd be happy to do so. So joining me on my far left is the amazing Mark Vadney on 6-string acoustic and occasionally electric. He and I started the band kind of as a COVID project, really just try to not go crazy and sit 6 feet apart and still make some music with people and deal with the madness that was happening 3 or 4 years ago. And not too long thereafter, we started playing gigs, and we very shortly thereafter drafted Gary Smith, who's sitting in the middle. Gary handles bass and 8-string, sometimes 12-string. Mark sometimes is on 12-string as well. I'm only ever on the G-string. It's about all I'm good at playing. It's always at a tune. Always at a tune.
The G string. I feel like I've heard that joke before.
I'm sure you
today.
have.
I'm sure I have.
I'll probably use it
First
again
time
next time. Yeah. So we started playing together, I don't know, probably 2 years ago, doing mostly what I would call hokey singer-songwriter covers. Started expanding that a little bit more, working on originals, and we're now at a point where we have, I think, 25 originals.
Wow.
Ready to go. We just recorded the first one, which you guys were kind enough to debut for us.
Yes,
we really
the world
appreciate
radio
that.
premiere. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. Great stuff.
And we've got more to record behind that. We've got a really cool engineer that we're working with, and we're really happy to make some more of that happen.
Outstanding. By the way, Mike from Queen City Cabinetry, Mike Pelopita's in the Facebook live chat and says, good to see Michael.
Good to see you, my friend. He was an old customer, old friend of mine.
Yeah. He's mentioned you. And of course, Queen City Cabinetry, one of our great sponsors here at WMNH. Well, listen, do you guys want to play something for us? And I'll ride the faders a little bit. We can't really, no way to do an off-air sound check, so to speak. But I'll do my best with the mixing. But yeah, what do you want to play?
Yeah, so we've got a bunch of originals lined up for you. We tried to kind of pick a smattering, both stylistically and subject matter.
Yeah.
I'm a little overly intellectual in my lyrics, self-admittedly, and these guys are amazing musicians. This is a song about the triumphs of the tarot deck. So this is sort of a psychedelic visual journey through the 21 triumphs in the place of the Fool, taking the journey itself, and how that's kind of all of us. So this one's called 22.
All right.
Traveling through the world, past popes and potentates, as priestesses and lovers look my way and wait. But the one with the way to the world is in my chariot, and that magician might become, yes, just a fool who's fraying at the edges. Got my bag, I got my dog, I'm stepping off of ledges. As the cards are dealt, I see I'll always break the rules. Carefree, don't care for me, I have to play the fool, I have to play the fool. I need to have the strength to hold the lion tight and stand alone in darkness, holding out a light. As the wheel of fortune spins, is justice on my side? As they hang me upside down, my hands behind me tied. Just a fool who's fraying at the edges. Got my bag, I got my dog, I'm stepping off of ledges. As the deck fans out, I see how fate is cruel. Carefree, don't care for me, I have to play the fool, have to play the fool. Oh. And I smell death, unmistakable. A man upon the water, one glass empty, one glass full. As the devil binds me in chains, I can see the tower fall. But I avoid the lightning, somehow escape it all. Just a fool who's fraying at the edges. Got my bag, I got my dog, I'm stepping off of ledges. As the cards rain down, I'm drowning in the pool. Carefree, don't care for me, I have to play the fool, have to play the fool. A woman like a star has pictures in her hands. As the moon shines over all the creatures of the sea and land. But the sun is rising, an angel trumpets judgment time. The world is out, if we can only climb. Just a fool who's fraying at the edges. Got my bag, I got my dog, I'm stepping off of ledges. As the house of cards burns down, I see I'm just a fool. Carefree, don't care for me. I have to play the fool, have to play the fool. Oh, oh, 22, 22, 22.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice. If you're just joining us, Jam Tomorrow is here with us live in studio on Matt Connarton Unleashed. And if you have any questions or anything for the band, 603-250-6007. The studio line is open. 603-250-6007. Just make sure you get in between songs because they are going to play some more stuff for us, and really looking forward to that. Mike from Queen City Cabinetry says, very good. Yes.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate that.
And yeah, these guys are going to be here with us for the rest of the hour. And of course, you can also interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. And you can text me at 617-917-4476. But the best thing to do, of course, give us a call at 603-250-6007. Where does the name come from, by the way, Jam Tomorrow?
So, as you know from us having been, so Matt and I were in a band together 13, 14, 15 years ago. We were in a band called Chemical Distance, which you can still find some stuff if you dig not too deep onto the interwebs.
I think 12 years ago, more like, right?
I think the first album dropped maybe 10, 11? Yeah. Somewhere in that time.
COVID caused a lot of time distortion.
Yeah, it still does. It's
really
still got
did,
the long COVID.
Yeah.
So I'm a nerd, and I'm a book nerd, and I'm a big Lewis Carroll fan. And Lewis Carroll actually had a phrase in Through the Looking Glass that was said by the Red Queen, where they're at a tea party, and Alice is going to have some jam, and the Queen says, "Jam tomorrow, jam yesterday, but never jam today."
Ah.
And it's sort of a play on the Latin for to be, I am.
Okay.
Because I is J, if you remember from Indiana Jones when he's stepping on the stones.
Yeah.
And we were having trouble, Mark and I, kind of lining up our rehearsal dates at the beginning. It was always like, oh, can we jam today? No, maybe we can jam tomorrow. And so then it sort of became jam tomorrow. So it's sort of multifaceted, but at its root, it's sort of that.
Yeah,
and so there's always a play on Lewis Carroll, and we've got a bunch of references to that in our music for sure.
Gotcha. By the way, I've played Red Queen's Race by Chemical Distance.
Right, so
on
it
the
obviously
show.
goes way back.
Yeah. I tell everybody that's our hit.
Yeah. If we'd had one, it would have been that.
So when did this project start? So it started out with you and Mark, right? The two of you. And
yeah, I mean, Mark and I had done actually a project with Otto. If you remember, the engineer that we did our first album with did a Christmas album, and they were looking for a Christmas song, a hokey Christmas song. So Otto and Mark and I actually did "Christmas for Cowboys" from a John Denver Christmas album that he actually covered from somebody I'd never heard of.
Oh wow!
Once again, probably like 12-ish years ago. And then just reconnected, realizing how close we lived, and started playing. And then just through sort of mutual acquaintances, Gary kind of got sucked into the mix, and it's sort of like there was no looking back from that point.
Yeah,
I'm really fortunate to have these amazing dudes to play with.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, so Gary, how long have you been in the band?
Pretty much a year and a half, probably a year and a half, 2 years. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we played our first gig together about 2 years ago. We had played together at a mutual friend's house, and so we had some experience playing together, but I didn't officially probably join until about a year and a half, 2 years ago, sometime in that range. So.
Gotcha. Do you guys play out a lot? Are you playing a lot of shows? Or?
Yeah, we did 4 gigs in July. I think we're kind of shooting for like 2 a month because we all have somewhat demanding jobs, pretty demanding jobs. You know, we're all doing 50 hours a week, some are 45 hours a week, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So we don't want to take it too heavy, but we're really fortunate that Manchester is such a great music town that we don't have to travel too far. Can I mention a couple of venues where we play? Is that acceptable?
By all means.
So like we play at Strange Brew all the time. We're playing there on the 24th. Mitch is super kind to us and gives us a lot of really great slots. We play at Granite Tapas all the time in Hooksett. We play at Hopknot. It's been a little while, but Kenny's brought us on to play 4 or 5 times. So we really, like, Mark and I both live less than a mile from here.
Oh, wow.
We don't care if Gary has to drive, frankly. So
right.
He's just a bass player. so we keep it easy. We often just like shoot for gigs like somewhere between Concord and Manchester so that at least one of us doesn't have to travel so far.
Right.
Which is a nice place to be. It's nice to be in such a, I remember a decade ago when we were trying to find places to play, no one wanted to hire you to play originals. If you were going to like a party band that could play all covers that people knew, you could get a good gig playing on a deck somewhere. But,
of course,
but like we play a third originals and all of our venues are on board with that. They're okay.
Good.
We play, and most of our covers are obscure. We throw in like a third covers that you're going to know the words to and have heard, but a lot of our covers, you might as well be originals because they're like deep cuts that no one knows.
Right, yeah. Now, when you play out, is it this configuration, or do you ever pull out electric guitars, or it's always?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time we'll have an electric and an acoustic with us, and we'll have some different configuration. I usually have something 8-string, and Mark usually has something cool sounding.
Yeah, I was suffering from tendonitis issues for a while, so playing this for 3 hours was killing me. So I tried to incorporate electric, but I couldn't find a pedal or a sound that made the electric quite sound acoustic enough. So I found a hybrid guitar that is the best of both worlds. So that, I can do that. But I needed this today because I knew we weren't plugged in. So.
Right. Yeah. Excellent. You guys want to play another song?
Yeah. So this next one is this one's called Motor Lodge. I've been writing for 30 years in various capacities, like really since college, at least 92, but longer than that. This is one of my favorite things that I've ever written, and I feel like I didn't actually write it. I feel like I really held the pen and I kind of channeled it, and I don't know where it came from. I can sort of see this person, and that sounds hokey, and I know there's people probably shaking their head, and if I heard this, I might shake my head too, but I felt more like a conduit than a creator in this piece.
Okay.
So this is called Motor Lodge.
Okay.
And I will say, from a musician's point, we're very naked today because this is a song that I have a very ethereal reverb cavernous sound because to create an effect. So we're very dry today. So
yeah.
It's going to be way better live. So come see us.
Yeah, come see us on the 24th at Strange Brew from 8 to 11.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, jam tomorrow.
Darn these wooden instruments.
Sometimes I think you don't even hear me. Sometimes I think I don't want you near me. Sometimes I think I'm missing your touch, but then sometimes I don't miss you so much. Sometimes I find I wish for your smile, but then sometimes I stand out in the rain waiting a while, and sometimes I wonder where you went, and sometimes I question my intent. It comes to question every single time, never answers, never anything deep or sublime. It comes to question, what do you ask of you? What do you believe? What are you going through, going through? Oftentimes I don't remember the moment that passed. Oftentimes I can't distinguish the first from the last. Oftentimes I feel I've walked in these footsteps before, and oftentimes I see my handprint on the door. Oftentimes I find I reach for your hand, but then oftentimes it disappears again. And oftentimes I wonder what happened to me. Oftentimes I question what made me. It comes to question every single time. Never answers, never anything deep or sublime. It comes to question, what do you ask of you? What do you believe? What are you thinking is true? Thinking is true. Most times I fear I've lost myself in the past. Most times I fear I've let the wrong moment last. Most times it isn't me in the mirror at all, and most times I can't predict my fall. Most times I don't know what went wrong, and most times I can't believe I'm singing this song. Most times I don't know how this will end, and most times I question what's round and round and bend. It comes to question every single time. Never answers, never anything deep or sublime. It comes to question, what do you ask of you? What do you believe? What are you gonna do, gonna do, gonna do, gonna do, gonna do, gonna do? Ooh.
Wow. Fantastic.
That was
Fantastic.
awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
awesome.
Thank you very much.
If you're just joining us, we have the members of Jam Tomorrow here in studio with us. We have Mike and Mark and Gary, and Jenny is here at the news desk, and we're really enjoying this. If you have any questions or anything at all or feedback for the band, 603-250-6007 is the studio line, 603-250-6007. Mike, do you write all the lyrics?
I do. Yeah. It's we have a pretty clear division of labor. Usually Mark and I kind of bounce stuff back and forth. I have a very, very solitary writing process. I'm kind of selfish.
Yeah.
I've always found, even when I was doing Chemical Distance, every project I've had, I usually let the creative people that make the music, and then I take the music away to my lair and I put lyrics to it.
Yeah.
And then we come back and we share, we bounce back. I think it's kind of like how Rush writes, where like one part does one thing and then it's division of labor and they sort of separate it out.
Yeah.
Now that we've got two musicians, it's even easier because literally we always rehearse at my house because I feed us and we have space. So it's pretty easy for these guys to just like, all right, we can jam at your house. Good food.
Yeah.
And so I'll literally be like, I'm going to go get some more beers from the kitchen, and I'll just put my phone on the table where these guys are hanging out and just hit record on the record app, and freaking magic just happens. And I come back and I'm like, oh, all right, well, there's our next song.
Yeah.
And then we literally just take it and I say, okay, I feel like this is the opener, and this is the verse, and this is the chorus, and we can sequence it like this. And what do you guys think about that? And we kind of bounce it back and forth. And then I write the lyrics, we come back, Mark finds some harmonies for it, and then it just sort of all comes together. So it's very collaborative, but at the same time, it's sort of iterative, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And Gary's been great about like taking songs that were written prior to him and being, why don't we do this for an intro?
Yeah.
Or, how do you feel about this middle break? Putting in bridges, and because if you listen to most of our music, not a lot of bridges, a lot of verses, a lot of choruses, not a lot of bridges. Gary is the facilitator of those things.
Helping us break being formulaic, because I'm kind of a singer-songwriter, verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus kind of guy. And I think Mark and I, we're writing in 4/4. We're writing within a sort of, a BPM range that's sort of somewhat predictable, and Gary absolutely helps us sort of break those, get a little jazzier
70s,
with it.
80s blues rocker, so
Yeah.
I do think formulaic too much, but
It's natural.
I'm old,
though.
so
It's natural. I mean, there is an established sort of format that we all fall into with it. But that's, it's there for a reason. That's what just sounds pleasing to us as humans,
And it's comfortable too. And I think for us, it's like, we don't want to fight with the mechanism.
Right.
We really just want to get to the place where we want to be and do our thing. And sometimes just falling into 4/4 at 105 BPM, in a chord progression that we're sort of comfortable with. It's like, okay, well, we can tell a story here. Like, we already know the terrain. It gives us that much more ease of action.
Yeah.
like the first 12 or 15 songs were like music I've just had tucked away since 70s and 80s, and then he's like, send me some ideas, so I kept pulling out these things that were just a long time, and he just kind of bloomed the flower, so to speak.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
Never throw away an idea, right?
Because I can't write lyrics for the life of me.
Really.
And I'm not the guy to put out a melody, so I think we all sort of know our place, and we're all really happy. I hate to say staying in our lane, because it's not about like, hey, don't do my thing.
Right,
it's more about
right.
like, you're really good at this, you do that.
Right. Well, if
True
it works, it works.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
You guys want to play another song?
Yeah.
I'm dying to hear another one.
Yeah, we got a bunch more. So this next one is actually the first song that we wrote. This is definitely a COVID song. It starts with a chorus instead of starting with a verse, just because we felt like being unconventional. This one's called Falling Into Place. This was definitely inspired by going to see Sean Mullins outside of Tupelo Music Hall when COVID first started and they moved his show from inside of the concert to the outside of the concert. We're huge fans. And if I can give a quick 30-second story, we actually went to see him up 2 hours north in Bethlehem like a month ago. Mark and his wife drove home after the show. We were trying to get an autograph. Couldn't get anyone at the theater to get us an autograph. My wife and I stayed at a local B&B. Wake up in the morning because the sun's just streaming into our room. So like 7 o'clock in the morning, we're showered, packed, ready out the door, which is really unconventional for us, especially after a late show.
Yeah.
And it's a tiny little B&B with 7 rooms. And I walk out into the hallway and there's this guy walking around with a paper cup of coffee looking a little lost. And it's Sean Mullins.
No kidding.
And he's like, I would say after Paul Simon, and that's a tall order, he's my number 2 most inspirational favorite in my heart songwriter. And he's right there.
Oh my God, what are the odds?
And I looked at him and I said, dude, you were amazing last night. He's got this beautiful baritone. He just goes, oh, thanks, you were there? And I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm here. He goes, do you know where breakfast is? And I said, yeah, it's in that room right there. If you just sit down. They said a waitress will come over. I said, Sean, would you like some company? He goes, yeah, that'd be really nice. And my wife and I sat down with Sean Mullins and had breakfast with him for an hour, and I didn't ask him like creative questions or music questions. We talked about life on the road because I've been on the road for sales 20 years. So like, I didn't fanboy on him until the very end, and then I got pictures and got like autographs from Mark and I. But we're huge Sean Mullins fans, and I feel like this song was very much his zeitgeist was still sort of like pushing us to write our first song when we came out with this.
Oh, that's so cool.
So this one's called Falling Into Place.
All right.
And I feel like things are falling into place. And I feel like it's the end of the Red Queen's race. And I feel like the stars are gonna change. Because I feel like this was all just rearranged. As we move from hugs and handshakes, we must remember how our souls ache. As we move from confidant to confident, we must remember how our souls pay rent. And I feel like things are falling into place. And I feel like it's the end of the Red Queen's race. And I feel like the stars are gonna change. Because I feel like this was all just rearranged. And people take too much pride in the way they pick their side. Split up into them and us. Assigned seating on the bus. But I feel like things are falling into place. And I feel like it's the end of the Red Queen's race. And I feel like the stars are gonna change. Because I feel like this was all just rearranged. As our lives get more separated, well, we wish they weren't so. As things get more complicated, end of the Red Queen's race. And I feel like the stars are gonna change, because I feel like this was all just prearranged. And I feel like things are falling into place, and I feel like it's the end of the Red Queen's race. And I feel like the stars are gonna change, 'cause I feel like this was all just prearranged. I said I feel like this was all just prearranged.
Oh, that's my favorite
Wow.
so far.
That's
That's my
awesome.
favorite.
I love that.
Thank you.
I hope that's one of the ones you're recording.
Eventually, we hope they all make it. Like, these
Yeah.
are definitely next in queue.
Yeah.
We got 2 more that we slated. If we have time for a third, we can break it. But everything
Oh,
that
no,
you're going to hear
we have time.
today,
Oh, no, we got time.
yeah, everything you're going to hear today will definitely make it to the engineering booth in the next, hopefully, 6 months or so.
Yeah, good.
Our guy's local. He's a professional. He's actually touring with Badfish right now, running their sound live.
Okay.
He's got a home set up. He's what's the name? Barnwood Studio.
Boards House Production.
Boards House, yeah.
Okay.
Totally wrong. Yeah.
Roots of Create. He does Roots of Creation. He does Badfish.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. By the way, Gary, it occurred to me, I don't think I've ever seen an 8-string guitar in this room before. I think you're the first one to bring one in.
I'm glad to break the seal.
Yeah.
You should see his electric. It's actually got frets. What do you call those frets that are just
they're
like
true temperament frets.
So
in the
none of them are straight. They literally
Really?
each fret shifts at each string, and it's like an asymmetrical lightning bolt. It's crazy, but it's got this
Really?
beautiful true tone.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh,
yeah,
no
and this
kidding.
is a Bartolex 8-string nylon, so it's and it's fan fret. It's fun. It was the first thing that got me into 8 strings. My old guitar teacher.
No kidding.
Yeah, sold it to me, and it's awesome.
Have you met a lot of other people who play an 8-string? It seems
Not really. I mean, some like people in the crazy metal world, they like to go 8-string.
Yeah.
And then, I have a jazz background, so there's some like jazz guitarists who like to do like walking bass lines with
Yeah.
this. So that's why I got it from my teacher. He has a host of 8 and
wow.
10 and weird amount of strings. So,
Yeah. And do you finger pick everything?
It's a mixture. Like that song, I was doing a lot of finger picking. Some
Yeah.
of the other songs, and the next song, I think I do a lot of picking. So it's
Okay.
it's a mixture of both.
Yeah.
But I played nylons a lot of my life, so it's even though this is the widest neck you've ever seen, it's really not too bad.
Yeah.
It's like a meme.
Right. Mark, do you always pick, or do you ever finger pick? Or?
I do a mixture of both. I do have
Okay.
some of our originals that are all finger picking.
Oh,
but,
okay.
I mostly facilitate the rhythmic portion of what we do.
Yeah.
Gives Gary freedom to fill in all the holes with tasty licks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So mostly strumming.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you guys want to play another one?
Yeah, Capo 5.
What is it?
Capo 5.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so this is Mark. Another reason, these are amazing humans. I cannot stress enough. This is the project that I've been waiting to do my whole life, and I'm glad I've done every project I've done, but this is the one that I've really been waiting for. These guys also invite me to shows to see people that broaden my musical horizons, that open my mind up. And Mark said, hey, let's go see Chris Thiele. We saw him in Portsmouth. Nobody was there. It was really sad. It was like a quarter of the theater was full. This guy was amazing.
really?
And he made me start thinking about Leonard Cohen again, who I really hadn't thought about seriously since like 95, 6, 7 when I was in college. And it made me start thinking about Leonard Cohen. So somehow that turned into sort of a bluegrassy song. So this is Beautiful Loser, which is our tribute to Leonard Cohen.
Chris Thiele plays in Nickel Creek with the bluegrass.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I know the name, but
he's the Eddie Van Halen of mandolin.
Yeah.
Check out his videos. He's
Super
just-
obscure, but amazing player. Great stage presence, great performer, all by himself. One instrument, 2 mics, one for the instrument, one for him.
Wow.
No effects, just like on stage, just making it
When's
happen.
the last time you saw a guy with a mandolin just capture a room
Killer.
for 2 hours?
where in Portsmouth was he?
Portsmouth,
The old theater that they just redid with the nice marquee at the top, kind of tucked off of Main Street. The
yeah.
Sort of gilded era. Kind of reminds me of a miniature version of the Orpheum.
Oh, I can picture it. Yeah.
It looked like it was late 1800s.
Can't remember the name, but it was redone and beautiful.
Yeah, great show.
Yeah,
very cool. Very cool.
This is a mix of Leonard Cohen and bluegrass.
Yeah, so it's called Beautiful Loser.
All right, jam tomorrow. Here with us in studio.
fabric of space and time, like I had $1 and I needed a dime. I've been to both ends of the Mississippi, from the Minnesota highlands to the New Orleans Ocean. She grips me, and I don't know what happened to me between feeling alive and living free. Keep walking towards where I think I might be. Yeah. God is alive and magic is afoot. Some things just won't stay where they're put. Reinvention tainted by previous intention won't save us from those things we just can't mention. And I don't know what happened to me between feeling alive and living free. Keep walking towards where I think I might be, yeah. To the bread. And I don't know what happened to me between feeling alive and living free. Keep walking towards where I think I might be. Yeah. Every time we pull back the curtain, we find another curtain. But my mind is weary and my back is hurting. The only thing I've ever known for certain is behind every curtain there's another curtain and another curtain. And I don't know what happened to me between feeling alive and living free. Keep walking towards where I think I might be. Yeah. And I don't know what happened to me between feeling alive and living free. Keep walking towards where I think I might be. I think I might be. I think I might be. Yeah. And I don't know what happened to me between feeling alive and living free. Keep walking towards where I think I might be. I think I might be. I think I might be. Yeah. That's a new ending for us. We just
really?
worked on that our last rehearsal. Yeah, the whole acapella piece and then switching out. So that was
awesome.
Thank you. That was our first time I think we've ever done that live.
Yeah, it was a surprise hearing the two of you singing together because you hadn't done.
Tell anybody, they'll expect it all the time.
Mark does harmonies on like 25% of our songs, but we
Okay.
haven't developed a lot for our originals yet.
Yeah, no, that sounded really good though.
Thank you.
Really good.
Absolutely.
And it's funny too, Gary, during that song, that was when I really like watching you. That's when I really got it. As far as the 8th string, it was like, oh, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you're playing guitar and you're playing bass at the same time. Effectively, it was like
he just switches modalities like mid
yeah, yeah. Which you did on the other song, but with that song, it was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah,
I really get it. Yeah.
It transfers even more on electric, because then he'll hit a button and he's doing a soaring distortion solo.
Yeah.
Where not so much on this.
And then it sounds like a B3 on the next effect. Yeah, it's like, oh, that's sweet. I like that. I'm a sucker for a Hammond.
Ham and cheese.
You guys want to do? So you got one more, right?
We got as many more as you want. We got one more that we practiced for this, and we could throw another one in if we got time.
Yeah, we'll see how the time is, but we can definitely get one more in. For
All
sure.
right. So this next song, this is written about my wife's cousin. She passed away about 20 years ago doing some peace work in the Middle East.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, you can Google. Her name's Rachel Corey. There's probably more information than you want to know. Frankly, it's a tragic tale all around. It took a long time for me to write this. Her journals were actually Alan Rickman from Snape. Actually took her journals and wrote a one-woman play called My Name is Rachel, I believe, or Let Me Stand Alone. And that toured briefly in New York and then off Broadway. We went to see it a couple of times, once in New York, once here in Boston. And a lot of the lyrics from this and most of the chorus actually come from her journals. So I kind of tried to stitch it together and make it a cohesive narrative, but the majority of the content from the song actually comes directly from her journals right up to the day before she died.
Okay. Wow.
Heavy song, but it's a story that needed to be told. It took me about 15 years to have the courage to put it down. And
what's her name? Rachel
Corey.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she was 23. I think.
Wow.
I mean, we could have done probably 10 verses, but we pared it down to
so it's
4.
It's still a 7-minute song, but yeah. So this one's called The Whole Wide World.
All right. Jam tomorrow.
A child of the Puget Sound, a dove in the town parade, raised by caring parents, aware of the world they'd made. Dad went to Vietnam, you can't come back the same. I grew up with his sense of calm and a burning flame. Let me stand alone at the edge of the earth and look at it honestly. Maybe my world swirls around me, but one thing is stationary. If the words I use buzz away from my lips meaninglessly, let them hang in the air for a while and look at them honestly. My name is Rachel. Trying to bridge the distance between the moon and the star. I flew across the world to Rafah, and it seemed so far. Sometimes you work for the world, sometimes for yourself. Sometimes you can't see what is hiding on the highest shelf. Let me stand alone at the edge of the earth and look at it honestly. Maybe my world swirls around me, but one thing is stationary. If the words I use buzz away from my lips meaninglessly, let them hang in the air for a while and look at them honestly. My name is Rachel. Houses demolished as the war rages on and on. Machine gun fire at sunset, mortar blasts at dawn. Who are they? Why are they here? They ask behind our backs. We came from America to stop these attacks. Let me stand alone at the edge of the earth and look at it honestly. Maybe my world swells around me, but one thing is stationary. If the words I use buzz away from my lips meaninglessly, let them hang in the air for a while and look at them honestly. My name is Rachel. Greeting people, happy be beloved, showing love. Thinking back when I was a child, parading as a dove. We have to protect the waterways, need water to survive. Building towards this moment, I have never felt so alive. Let me stand alone at the edge of the earth and look at it honestly. Maybe my world swells around me, but one thing is stationary. If the words I use buzz away from my lips meaninglessly, let them hang in the air for a while and look at them honestly. My name is Rachel. My name is Rachel. My name is Rachel. My name is Rachel.
Wow, that's an intense song. That's great.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you.
That is amazing. That is amazing. I wish we had time for one more, but we're actually almost out of show. But,
That was awesome.
But guys, thank you so much. And before we do run out of time, please tell us what we should know about where to find you online, keep up with what you're doing, social media, upcoming shows, anything you want to make sure our listeners
So we don't have
know
a
about.
website. We're still working on that. Still working on the album. Still kind of trying to take this a little more seriously than just some kids in the sandbox pretending to be a rock and roll band, to quote Shel Silverstein. We've got a show coming up on the 24th at Strange Brew. Facebook's always the best way to follow us. We do have a page, Jam Tomorrow - the band, so you don't confuse it with Jam Tomorrow the lunchbox, Jam Tomorrow the sleeping bag, Jam Tomorrow the flamethrower. The kids love that one. So you can track us there. We always make sure we put out postings several weeks ahead of shows.
Yeah.
We're also doing
Feathered Friends, the 28th. I think that's the next.
That's next month, the 28th.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, and we're doing Rob Azevedo's doing a thing down in Arms Park.
Oh, yeah.
Saturday, the 26th, I
Nice.
think. And we're going to play it around 6:30. Just Gary and I. Mark's got something else going on. So we're going to do a couple of cuts that we've been working on together sort of independently.
Cool.
And a couple of covers probably. So that's where you can find us. But we appreciate it. And hopefully you can find us here again because we'd love to come back.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Have you been on Rob's show, Granite State
Not
of
yet.
Mind?
We're working on it.
Yeah, yeah.
My other
Wink, wink,
project
nudge, nudge.
was on there, and it was cool. It's a cool spot.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Gary's in Fox and the Flamingos as well. A really cool 5-piece funk project. Super high energy. Really great covers. Some cool originals. Very talented folks. You should check them out too.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
You should come in too.
Yes,
Whatever
absolutely.
you want. Take up a little more space.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Well, guys, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much. And
Thank you so much.
Matt, Jen, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
absolutely. And it's great to see you. And well, you're sounding great.
Thank
The
you. This
vocals
is-
are.
I felt like that was a great. Chemical Distance was a great place to sort of learn how to tour and how to book and how to guerrilla market, but I didn't have a lot of room to play as far as what I was going to do. And this project gives me just so much more leeway to kind of
Yeah.
play my hokey old stuff.
No, it's very good, very good. Appreciate you guys coming in. And Jenny, did you want to plug your website or?
Oh yes, you can always check me out at jenncoffey.com, JENNCOFFEY.com. See what kind of trouble I am whirling up to fight for healthcare for all.
Yes, absolutely. All right, and if you missed any part of today's show, it will be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org and at my website, mattconnerton.com. And gentlemen, thank you again. Jam tomorrow.
Thank you.
Woo-hoo! Just incredible. And won't have time to play the whole thing, but we'll leave you with a little more of the new single from these guys, Killin Time. And that's going to do it for us for now. I'll talk to y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Is a song I want to tell from way back, deep like a well. There is a song I need to say. It seems it somehow got away. I'm just killing time until time kills me. For the ferryman, a ring